So my name's Kieran and I'm 35 and I'm from Birmingham, and I'm here today to talk about what it's like for single Sikhs dating. When I see photos that you know is from 2008, you're like, no, just take a real picture.
Hi, my name is Suraj and I'm 26 years old from West London. Is she enjoying herself and am I enjoying myself? I think that's very important.
My name's Anisha, I am 30 years old. I am an assistant mortgage broker from Leicester. Great. I wanted that one on the left instead of the one on the right.
Hi, I'm Kushi. I'm 21, I'm from Birmingham, and I'm here with the Sikhing team to talk about dating. So he can't smoke, and that's a deal breaker for me.
My name's Manraj, I'm 21, I'm from London. Discuss about how dating in the UK is for Sikhs.
My parents do know I date online. My mum will take the app off me and she'll be swiping herself. Oh, this guy's nice, that guy's nice.
If a guy's over 6 foot, he's telling the truth. If a guy's under 6 foot, take off an inch to any height, he says.
Personally, I have been finding it hard to find love as a Sikh in London, and an app like Sikhing does help to make those connections.
That's literally what I think now about dating. See, I feel like there could be a lot of words to describe me, but the 3 I'm going to go for today is energetic, optimistic and adventurous.
I'm a fun, energetic person, very outgoing, and I'm also just a very easygoing person. I just go with the flow.
Funny, hardworking, life of the party.
I would say I'm pretty optimistic, bubbly and outgoing. I love to talk to people and just go out and have fun, really.
In 3 words, I describe myself as confident, outgoing and kind.
Dating at the moment for myself has been challenging and eventful, but we're not going to say negative, just definitely challenging is the word.
I find dating actually quite difficult in the UK and in London. It's with this modern day where post-COVID where everyone is working from home these days, it's very hard to go out and meet people.
I've dated a few people briefly via your app, other apps, TikTok as well. I find a lot of people DMing me on there and Instagram. But yeah, it's going well. Met loads of new people just through my videos that I upload on TikTok.
Because I'm quite new to this process, so far it's been quite good. It's fun to see how different people are from different areas, but so far it's been quite fun, I would say.
Because it's London and it's kind of a fast-paced city, people tend to be busy and get caught up in their lives or jobs or family, whatever it may be.
I think it is extremely difficult to find love as a single Sikh in Birmingham, but I think a lot of my generation in particular got married quite young or married now, or there's that kind of pocket of guys that are still living their best single life and not quite ready for that commitment. And I feel dating isn't dating anymore because no one's wanting to commit to any type of label. So I would definitely say that it's very difficult dating in Birmingham. So what am I looking for in a partner? I mean, there's a list, but definitely someone that wants to laugh at my jokes. I think I'm really funny. But equally someone that's really hardworking. I'm really hardworking as a person, whether that be in personal goals or my career goals, just a grafter, and I would love someone to mirror that. Don't have to be the same as me. I think opposites can attract. However, so we complement each other.
What I'm looking for in a partner is someone who's very family oriented, goal-driven, ambitious, just like myself. You know, I want to work with her, you know, and complement each other.
What I'm looking for in a partner is someone who's family orientated, kind, respectful of, you know, values and things like that. So I want somebody with the same kind of core values as I have. I'm quite family orientated, so somebody definitely like that, and romantic, because romance is so hard to find in this day and age in men.
He has to be funny, he has to make me laugh, he has to be ambitious.
The type of thing I'm looking for in a partner is someone who's not selfish, who thinks about other people, someone who is strong-willed in their beliefs about who they want to spend their life with.
So I'd say I stay positive throughout dating. So I'm a Bhangra dancer in my spare time, hence the energy levels are up there.
So the way I stay positive is you just keep going. I'm someone who loves learning new things, and of course when something doesn't go well and you get rejected, I just treat it as a learning experience and you move on and you just keep improving over time.
I have a good support network for myself. I have my mum, who's my best friend. I'll go to the gym, throw myself into work if I'm not feeling 100% positive. So there are other avenues and things like that I do throw myself into just to take my mind off dating, because obviously it can't be 100% on just one aspect of my life, yeah.
Don't stress yourself about finding someone. There's not really any rush to do it. You just find someone in your own time. If family's pressuring you to do it, then you don't need to listen to them. It's your life, it's not theirs.
Luckily for me, I am blessed with such supportive parents, so I can talk to my mom about anything, I can talk to my dad about anything.
It is hard to find somebody as a single Sikh. I would say that, you know, if it's not working on an app, which it should hopefully work, but if it doesn't, just be honest with people when they ask, and just ask family for help.
I think one of the biggest turnoffs is those selfie pictures when they have their bodies in and with shirtless pictures, and it's awful. Or a selfie in a mirror when the flash is blocking their face. Yeah, no go for me. It's actually an ick. It really is an ick. And I'm like, no, and I will swipe. Even if they have the best bio, I would swipe past because, yeah, just doesn't do it for me. I just take a picture, you know.
Yeah, as soon as I see a shirtless photo, I'm like, no. If they have loads of group photos as well, and you don't know which one it is, yeah, that is a big turn off as well. And I'm like guessing, and then if you guess the wrong person, you're like, oh.
So my deal breakers are if he's not funny. I would probably say height, because I'm quite tall myself, I'm 5'10". He has to be taller than me, that's a deal breaker.
If she hasn't got a good family support network and she's not got a lot of friends, that's a bit of a red flag, basically. Like, why is that happening? But definitely, if she's not easygoing, it's not really going to work, because I'm very much someone who just goes with the flow, and if she's quite stubborn, then I don't think it's going to work out.
If he's got a picture of him smoking, no. Shirtless pictures, no.
If they're not close with their family, I think that's quite big to me. I mean, I speak to my parents every day, and my sisters pretty much daily. Very close family network, and I don't quite understand when someone hasn't got that family network. And I think friend circles, I think that can say a lot about somebody if they've not got really any friends and they almost want to latch onto your circle.
There's loads of people that put dating before, you know, finding a job. So that would be a red flag for me. I mean, if they haven't got a good relationship with their family, that's a red flag for me. If they haven't passed their driving test and they're looking at me to pass it for them, that's a red flag.
If the date is going well, in terms of like we have stuff in common and we have a lot to talk about, there's no awkward silences, there's no like, oh, what should I say now? What's going on? You know, when can I go home? If there's none of that, then the date is going well, and then I would probably say I would see the person again. You just have to have a connection with the person.
So dealing with rejection in dating is never easy, in my opinion. It's always tough, and it's always a tough pill to swallow. However, I have been rejected in the past, and actually the reason why I was rejected is because I don't have a degree. And when I actually looked at it and put it out black and white, I'd probably manage this guy if he came to work for me. So I found it a little bit odd. But yeah, it was a hard no from that person. That was a non-negotiable for them that I didn't have a degree.
I went on a date with a girl from Sikh, had a good time, but when I got home, then she texted me saying there just wasn't a spark and a second date really isn't on the cards, which is fine. I was glad that she was very honest, so we could just sort of move on. I'd rather that someone be upfront rather than catching feelings, and then, you know, you could be thinking about them for quite a while.
Dating as a plus-size girl is quite a big deal to some people. So people have rejected me based on my weight. I got rejected recently due to not being judged from the right community.
You know, I was then asked to send a bit of a bio, like detail of myself and what my job was and how much my company's turnover was, just so I could almost sell myself. And yeah, I just said, no, thank you.
If a girl left me on red, I would give them the benefit of the doubt once or twice. At the end, it could just be a mistake. They pressed a message and then forgot to reply. But if they do it consistently, then that's a problem, because it shows that she's not really interested in me. So I would say once or twice, I'll cut them slack. I don't really think about it. But if a girl is doing it on a, quite regularly, ghosting me, then I would just drop it, to be honest with you.
So yeah, I mean, if I was going to reject somebody, if they weren't if they weren't what they said they were on their profile, I would call them first of all, or meet them in person, and just do it politely, let them down gently. I mean, the last thing I want to do is, ghost people.
I personally don't believe that ghosting is okay in any situation. I think there's always a chance to message someone back. You sat on the toilet, you could be, on the bus to work or driving in. I think there's always a chance to message someone back and just say, you know what, it didn't work. Because me as a person, I like closure. So if something didn't work, you think, well, what have I done? You naturally start to blame yourself. And I know most of the time it's nothing to do with me, so I don't ghost and I would not expect it to be ghosted.
Communication is so key in a relationship, so I treat people how I want to be treated. So I don't really leave people red. If I do, it's probably just been a mistake, but I like replying to people.
That is kind of disrespectful in my opinion. I mean, you've taken time out, they've taken time out to travel in, to meet you, spend money, things like that. And yeah, it's not fair to be ghosted like that. They deserve an explanation.
If someone is not replying to you, chances are, just take that as a sign that they're not interested in you. The person that you want to be with and be talking to all the time and seeing all the time, they're the people that you want to be with.
I think that everyone has an expectation when it comes to dating, and you almost want to shake them and be like, get away, all expectations. You don't know what this date is going to be like with me, and I don't know what this date is going to be like you. We've got an indication, great, but we don't know. Take away all expectations. I feel like if you don't expect things, you don't get disappointed.
I'd say with people's attitudes, they need to be more open about what they want, because there's nothing worse than meeting someone and having to think that their motives are different than what you originally thought.
I think so far people just need to be more honest and open in terms of communicating with the other person, like what you really want from the person.
People put their intentions as like a long-term relationship, but really they're not looking for a long-term relationship, they're just looking to date. And that's not my intention at all. I mean, I'm happy to date, but obviously I do want something long-term as well.
I think they should just be more honest from the beginning, what they truly want, what their intentions are. Like, let us know if they do see something coming from this, and it's not just like going on the phone, there's nothing. So I think being honest is the key.
Guys need to have a little bit more initiative. It's okay to make the first move. I think there's this whole stereotype of rejection. And I think everyone within the dating scene, a lot of people I've spoken to are just so worried about rejection. And I feel that things don't actually happen or progress. So you end up being pen pals with people at times, on an app. Or they're maybe a bit scared or lack that confidence to actually just ask you on a date. I think it should really be normalised that going on a date is how you're going to know if you want to see this person again. And I think what we need to remember is being married isn't the be-all and end-all. However, it's a choice and a chapter that I would like in my life, but it's not the end of the world. Nothing's happened to me that I'm not married by 35, like I'm still going strong. But I think there's a bit of pressure there, isn't there?
So the pressure from, marriage and that kind of thing, it normally comes more from the family side, because, I have relatives that are very traditional. You got to get married, you got to get a job, you got to be this by this age, and it can be a lot. But the way I deal with it is, it's not their generation anymore. It's a different generation, it's different time, it works different. Things tend to be slower these days.
I think there is pressure to find someone, yeah. I mean, I'm 30 and I started getting pressured probably, I graduated when I was 22. So as soon as I graduated, the night before I graduated, in fact, my nanny was like, oh, you're nearly 23 now, come on, find someone. And I hadn't found anybody at uni. I mean, I dated a person. It didn't end very well, but yeah, and now, lately, I've stopped going to weddings and things like that because all the auntie and all the uncles, that's the first question they ask is, hi, how are you? Are you not married yet? And yeah, I'm just sick of answering it now.
So messages for the aunties at the functions, mind your business. Please mind your business. You know, we're okay. Create a space and, you know, and understand why your girls are still single or your boys are still single. You know, talk to them. Can be open-minded. My parents are 70 years old and I can have an open conversation with my mum about a date, you know, and they can do it. So just do it.
So in terms of pressure to get married, it really does depend on the family. Thankfully, my family are quite liberal. I don't really get any pressure from my parents. Maybe a little bit from the grandparents, but it's nothing too much. In fact, the biggest pressure is the pressure I put on myself because I feel like, you know, time is moving forward and, you know, ideally I would like to get married.
Not everyone like around my age is serious right now. Everyone's got different intentions. Some people are, like most people are looking for short term and just to mess around really, but so it is quite difficult to find someone that is genuine.
I personally feel that the pressure that we get within society about getting married has always been there. I think it's been there from when I was younger, it's been there now as I'm older. I think it's just more heightened as you get older, you're more exposed to it because your friends and, you know, your family members, everyone's got married, having kids, so you're therefore more exposed to it. I don't get that pressure from my parents. I'm very blessed. I mean, they supported me going on a documentary. My parents are very cool, but it is extended family. You know, there's been situations I've turned up at a party and people don't quite understand why I live in Birmingham without being married or not studying. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, you can't change the way of those people are thinking, these auntia, you know, in the community, you can't change it. All you've got to do is make sure that you're not going to be like that.
I'm a person, I've got a job, I've got a degree. I am fulfilled within my personal life. I don't need marriage to fulfill me, and that's not the be all and end all of life.
So you do get you get auntie saying it sometimes. Usually it's like light-hearted and they're joking about, but of course, you know, there's a meaning behind it. I personally don't really care too much because I know who I am, I know what I want to do, so I don't need that extra pressure coming in. But I can imagine it does affect people and people do feel the pressure.
They usually just be like, do you have a boyfriend? Or they be like, they want to set me up with someone. I'm like, no, worry about your own family.
The way I'd say to deal with pressure is just focus on you. Don't worry about what anyone else says. You find the relationship in your own time. You don't let anyone else push you for it.
What I look for in a profile, definitely I would say is a bio. If a guy doesn't have a bio, I find it really lazy. And I just think, give me 2 words, or give me 2 sentences, sorry, just something a little bit about who you are.
So what I look for in a profile is really just, I'm looking out for the red flags to see if I'm gonna like this person initially or not. I think that a profile does not tell the whole story, so I always want to give a girl the benefit of the doubt. But if I'm seeing any red flags, such as she's a smoker, or for example, I'm 5'6", so if the girl's like a lot taller than me, then it's probably not going to work out.
And I think as well, when guys don't have many pictures, I think it's fair to put pictures up. I can look different in every picture I take. So I'll put a range of pictures up to be like, this one I look like an Indian, this one I look like with straight hair, this one I look like with curly hair, you know, just so someone gets an idea of what I actually look like. And I think guys need to do that a little bit more as well, because I feel that online dating, it's a bit of a guessing game when you're going to meet them. And current photos, when I see photos that you know is from 2008, you're like, no, you don't look like, I don't look like that anymore, like no one looks like that.
What attracts me when I'm swiping is a good smile, so they have to have nice teeth. And just, I mean, if a guy has a profile photo that's just one photo and he hasn't taken the time to write anything on his profile, that puts me off.
You need to have a good bio. You know, that's one way for me to know who you are. Like, just for me to see what your personality is. If you have no bio, then it's just, I don't know what to say. Show photos that show who you are. Like, if you're going out and you're traveling, you're on a, I don't know, next to a waterfall, maybe something like that. That is much better than a shirtless picture.
What I feel girls want from a dating profile is just to see if the guy is genuine or not. Is he an honest person? I want to be with a girl who's looking for my personality as opposed to going after the riches and the wealth and all this. and the materialistic things. What I believe a girl wants in a guy is just honesty, integrity. He's a genuine character. He's going to be there for her. He's caring. Is going to support her in the future, like now and forever.
I think it's quite hard on a profile to see. You've got to have those instant grabbers that, you know, catch your attention. So, example, writing a bio to see if you resonate with what they're saying, great. Slight attraction on the pictures, brilliant. And then I think I'm happy to start talking from that stage, because you can't really see much or know much just from a profile, is what I've learned. But yeah, I would definitely say that vibing with someone over a chat, having some common shared interests, I think, yeah, it always helps go put it into the right direction. For a first date, I'd say I personally like to go somewhere a little bit more intimate, a little bit quiet, not too loud. I wouldn't want to go to a bar or a club, definitely not dinner either, because I think you don't know what it's going to be like to start with. Keep it short and sweet, and it leaves you wanting more if you get on with that person.
I enjoy just doing like an activity, maybe something like mini golf. I like going to Putt Shack. And then maybe get some drinks or food afterwards as well.
Favourite spot for a date would probably be coffee or a drink somewhere in like a quiet kind of pub, or, you know, but if they don't drink, then obviously coffee.
I think a nice little cafe would be nice, or a fun activity like golf or bowling.
What I look for in a first date is, do you get that connection with that person? You know, does the conversation flow? Are you getting a good vibe? And, you know, it may not happen after the first date, but, you know, that's why you always give that person another chance, second chance as well, because, you know, they might be scared and it might take time for them to open up as well. So what I'm looking for is a flowing conversation and you're aligning on certain values.
Pay on date one. Don't even make it a thing, you know? Me personally, chivalry is not dead. I am old school. I expect someone to pay on date one. And number two, don't expect that every woman needs to be saved and every woman wants to be this housewife and stay-at-home mum. Protection is great, to receive that from the opposite sex, great, but to also be supportive, encourage as well. Don't just listen, you know, partake in the conversation. You have an opinion too, you know. So
a coffee is a good spot because you don't really have to wait for anything. You can get to just talk to them, you can get to feel the vibe with them, see if it's right. If it's not, then you can just go. You don't really have to commit to any sort of meal really with them. I've been on dates where, you know, I didn't feel that they wanted to be there. It was more the pressure from their families that have like pushed them to date. Just be open-minded, be kind, yeah, and just don't be sleazy or like, you know, bad vibes. I feel like at the moment within dating, men and women, we have too many options. So my advice to the opposite gender is take away all your options, you know, stick to 1 to 2 people as you're talking. Don't date the whole community just to find the right one.
So the tips I'd give to the girls is give a chance early on. I feel like a lot of girls are quite hesitant at the start, and a guy needs to show quite a lot to then get a girl interested. And I feel like I need girls to like just put their guard down and give that guy a chance and see what he's like. Because the girls who end up being actually quite happy. So one date that I did have actually, we went ghetto golf first date. Turned up and I, you know, wore some heels and trotted along, and then I saw him and he was shorter than me. That's an ick for me, you know, I just don't want him. And then I was like, right, should I go buy some trainers? Should I go buy some flats? And I started thinking about it myself, like trying to change me. And I was like, no, you shouldn't have lied. Because you feel uncomfortable, I feel uncomfortable. Now this is just, yeah, it's just awkward. So yeah, that's definitely happened. In terms of worst dates, I don't really think I've had any, actually. So I could just tell you like a funny story where I went on a date once with a girl and it went really well. And then I said bye, she went off into Central, I went to meet my friends as well for a birthday party. And then later that evening, I was texting her and we ended up in Soho, and she was in Soho as well. So she came out of the bar and she literally had to meet all of my friends and say like hi to each one of them. It was quite awkward, it was quite funny at the same time. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I just met this girl for the first time today. And then we tried to get into a bar, the boys, and we couldn't get in. So they ended up dipping, and then I ended up just going on the second date with her that night, which was actually, it was really fun. We had a great time.
I haven't really been on many dates that haven't gone well. I think I went on a date recently with a guy. He hasn't passed his driving test, so he was doing his theory test on the phone. We were sitting at a restaurant and he threw his phone over at me and he was like, you drive, you answer these questions for me.
I was in a situation where I was dating somebody and it was going really well, it was really pleasant, but and I actually thought about it, I'm like, we're at date 10. And then I had to think about where we were going, was it right for each other or not, and had we progressed, and that we hadn't. So, you know, it was more of a friendship vibe, then maybe to question, but generally no, I try and let it go with the flow. But that is who I am as a person, I don't like to plan. So when you go on a date, I believe that there are no rules or time lengths that you should wait. You do what suits you. But equally, I'm still single, so I don't know if this is the right advice, but I just believe that you just don't need to wait around, you know. If you want to send that first text, great, you know, after a date, I will usually be the person that will text to say, thanks, home safe, because someone would ask that, and then let the conversation go from there. But I don't believe there's any time length. I believe that if the date went well, what are you waiting for? You know, just message that person.
What I would tell my younger self is to just be confident. I've only started having success with girls once I became confident. I was happy with myself and I was confident in approaching women. If I'd learnt this skill earlier, chances are I'd be even more confident at this stage and therefore could have found the one by now.
I am not heightist, but I am 5'7" and I wear heels. That takes me to a good 5'10". Today I'm 5'10", right? So if you tell me that you're 5'10", please actually be 5'10". And I feel like height is one big thing for myself.
Don't let it bother you. I mean, when the right person comes along, you'll know. When the time is right is when it will happen. Don't put pressure on yourself unnecessarily.
I think it is okay for the girls to do it as well, but me personally, I like when a guy asks me out. I think that's just a personal preference.
I definitely would say within dating, guys need to have a little bit more initiative. It's okay to make the first move. I think there's this whole stereotype of rejection. And I think everyone within the dating scene, a lot of people I've spoken to are just so worried about rejection. And I feel that things don't actually happen or progress. So you end up being pen pals with people at times, you know, on an app. Or they're maybe a bit scared or lack that confidence to actually just ask you on a date. I think it should really be normalised that going on a date is how you're going to know if you want to see this person again.
So a tip I'd give to a girl is also don't be too picky when it comes to guys. Just be open to meeting them and seeing if you vibe on a good level, rather than being too picky at the swiping stage of an app, because you've got no idea what that guy is going to be like, and you can't really judge it by just a face or what the bio is saying.
Most of my dating situations have been, I don't know if I'm going to marry this guy, but you know what, I really want to get to know him and see if there's anything there. And if it hasn't worked out, I think, again, it's the same principle. You pick up the phone and have an honest conversation with that person, or even face up on a date, you know, maybe your final date, to say, it's just not working for me. So my experience with Seeking, I had a really good experience, to be fair. One thing I have said, you know, to family and friends is that the calibre of men that I've met has definitely improved versus other sites. You know, they're looking for something for a future. They're looking for that next chapter. And they're way more serious about these dates and meeting up. Haven't found the one on it yet, but you know, it's going okay, I think.
I think it is great because me personally, I would want to date a Sikh person and marry eventually a Sikh person. I think people on Seeking just sound more serious anyways, in terms of what they want and where they see the relationship going.
I think people should join Seeking. I mean, it's an amazing app. It's a good interface, friendly people. It's very user-friendly as well. Yeah, I think people are more serious on this. Everybody that I've spoken to on Seeking has been quite serious. They're looking to get married soon.
If you're a Sikh single in the UK, I would 100% join Seeking. It's a great app. You know, I've been speaking to a few girls and got their numbers, and I've been on a date as well with a girl on Seeking. It's just another platform to meet like-minded people.
Rishtas and things, people might just go on a few dates and decide that they want to get married, but you might not necessarily get to know that person in that short of a time, and it might come up in some place in the marriage that, you know, it might lead to clashes, it might lead to even divorce, you don't know. So you really need that time to get to know someone.
If you're a single Sikh and you're looking for love, then you should definitely go on to Sikhing.
I am Punjabi, I am Sikh, but I'm open. I'm open to different cultures and religions, but what I like about Sikhing is it's like that filter's already on. Sikh, okay, tick, that's great. I find that sometimes you can have very shared values just by being same culture. So I think that's a nice safe space it creates already. You go on there and someone understands that on a Sunday you're going Gurdwara, like, so they get it, you know, it's lovely. And I would definitely encourage it because really have tried a few apps and like I said, the calibre of man is a lot better.
What my parents think about online dating is, thankfully they're very liberal and they are more than happy for me to be on online dating sites. They understand that this is the norm now these days. This is how young singles connect. So they're more than happy for me to be on dating apps. In fact, they actually prefer it because then it's a job that they don't have to do now. I think the world's a better place with an app like Sikhing, for sure. Sikhs can connect on this app, on this platform, and it's already connecting people and people getting married from it. So I think it's a great idea.